Hi guys, this is NHB here, Gracie Just Might Work on Instagram, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do my new teeny tiny bracelet. This one is a really super delicate bracelet, but I'm really pleased because it sits really nicely when it's on your wrist. It's really fine. You can see I've got fine fingers and it's just quite tiny. It sits up just a tiny bit as well, but this fishtail look underneath actually gives it a really nice base, and it sits on your wrist beautifully, so it sits and you can see this lovely interesting side here. Okay, this bracelet uses very few bands. I think for my wrist, which is I've decided is probably more a small to medium size adult wrist, I only used about 45 bands on this. And if you use something pretty, it really plays it up because of all the different ways that the bands face. So let's get on with it. This is a super simple bracelet. It just has a little bit of a different way of laying the band on. So let's get started. You'll need your loom set up in some way. I find I'm going to try this. I might even turn it a little bit to the side there. I hope you don't mind. You need to be able to easily do cap bands, or sort of cap bands, on this part of the loom, and then get it over onto here. So I'm going to try explaining it this way, because I like having, when I do cap bands, I tend to turn the loom a little bit sideways, and hopefully that will still be clear to you what I'm doing. We're only going to use these front two pegs, and we're going to be laying the band exactly the same all the way up, and after the first one loop we'll be looping the bands exactly the same all the way up as well. Alrighty, let's get started. Today I'm going to use some pink Persian bands. These are so cute. And also as a contrast, and it's really good to do this with a contrasting set of colours. As a contrast, I'm going to do glitter white, because I thought that would be nice. Have the glitter and the gold shimmer together. Doesn't matter which one of those you start with, which colour. And the first band we lay, and as I said, we're going to lay every single one exactly the same, is you can do this a couple of ways, so I'll show you a couple of ways. This is the way I do it, all in one hit. You put the band over, loop it round once, like that, so it's actually kind of on there twice, just the same as you were doing a double cap band. And while I've still got a hold of it, I stretch it over here and above, and twist it over there. Okay, so that's one way of laying these bands. So basically it's a round here as though you're double cap banding, lift it up and twist it on. Okay, another way of doing this is to do a double cap band, however you like to do your double cap bands. Oh, it doesn't want to stay on there. These are really springy. Okay, grab one of these, preferably the top one. Give yourself a little bit of length on it, and do the same thing. Twist it over to the next side. Right, so you got one above the next. Okay, for the first looping process, we're going to do just this. I'll call it the double capped side and the single side. So for just this double capped side, I'm going to loop it up and over and leave that single one just where it is for this first part. Okay. Push those down. Exactly the same looping process for the next. We're just alternating colours. So I've got my glitter white again, around like you're double capping, above and twist. So you got your figure 8 on there. Okay, now from this layer and every other layer we're going to get both the double capped side and the very bottom one, there's going to be 3 on here. 1, 2, 3 each time. 1, 2, 3. You're going to get the very bottom one and loop it up. Push it down. So again, exactly the same. 1, 2, up and figure 8, twist it on. Grab the bottom 2 on the cap band side, lift them over, and the bottom 1 and lift it over on the opposite side. It's going to be made sideways, so this will end up being the fish-tailed base, and this will be the kind of cute little looped and triangle top. Alrighty, sorry for that bang, pushing it down, and that's basically the entire bracelet there. So we'll run through a few more times. You might find that you like to double cap, grab that, up and over, looping the bottom on here 2 bands, and looping the bottom 1 band of 3 on this side. Pushing down. As an alternative, you may prefer, and this is not what I prefer, but just trying to give you a few different options. You may prefer to go 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Let's try that again. Yeah, I did have it on 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And get that whole loop off there, that third loop. Pick that whole loop off and just twist it over hook it over on that side while it's twisted. I'd probably prefer one of the other 2 ways of doing it, but it doesn't really matter which way you go. Hooking up 2 over that side and 1 over that side. Just start to see our little fishtail forming there, and we'll be starting to get our little triangle shapes with the top loops on this side. Okay, back to this again. 1, 2, crossing over. You've got 2 double cap parts, bottom over, single bottom over, pushing down, and just more alternating. 1, 2, twisting over, grabbing our doubled side and grabbing our single side, pushing down. Alrighty, this will just start growing out the side. If you're using a loom that has a base, it's easy, it's very small, so it'll just pop out the side. So this can be made on any of the looms that are around. Quite easily, it could even be made on the monster tail or the mini loom, because you only need those 2 pegs. Okay, I'll do a couple more and then I'll skip through, because this is just such a straightforward little bracelet. 1, 2, twist, cat side over, 2 bands, single side over from the bottom. Back to the pink Persian. Grabbing those bottom ones, bringing them over, and the bottom one, bringing it over. And that is absolutely it. When we get to the end, you can just twiddle with it a little bit with these bits of the cap band that stick out and form a little rib there. You play with those and you'll end up with a cute little sort of triangle shape almost on the top there, and you've got that fishtail that it'll sit on at the back. Alrighty, if you haven't got the hang of this, you can go back and have a look at it again. I'll go through and I'll finish off this bracelet, and the closure is really straightforward too, as you would imagine, being so few bands and such a tiny little bracelet. But I'll show you what it looks like at the end anyway. Alrighty, so I've got this the right length. I'll probably give this bracelet to my mum. So I've got it the right length for her. And I've got to the stage where normally you'd be laying another band across here. So I've got a cap side here of the white glitter, and I've got the pink and the white here. So what I will do is I will just take the extra pink one off over there. And because we don't actually need this capping part here, because we're not adding it onto anything it's going to hook onto, what you can do is you can actually just hook this off. Doesn't matter how you get it off, but you just hook it off. It can just be a loop now, it doesn't need to be double looped. And grab the other side and put your C-clip on the end there. I know I have a weird way of doing my C-clips with my fingers, but I like to have a hold of the bracelet. So you can work out to pop your C-clip on just over there. Find the other end. So there's your base. It's the base side. And don't be concerned if it's sort of all twisty at the moment. It will sit nice and flat when it's on your wrist or your mum's wrist. And then we go find the other end, and sorry about the blurriness, and find the initial capped 3 here. Grab those and pop the C-clip through. You can grab those with a hook, or you can just kind of force your way through it. Maybe I'd best demonstrate it with a hook rather than my usual bodgy way of doing things. So you can grab those. Make sure it's nice and flat. You've got the base facing, circle it round, and clip it over there. Okay, and there you have your teeny tiny bracelet. And when it is sitting on your wrist, it actually just sits really nicely. Now you might find on some of yours, I've gone through and I've adjusted these a little bit already, but you might find, just show you one, I'll make this one look like it sometimes comes out. You might find that it's sort of twisted over like this, and you can't see that nice clean triangle shape. And all you need to do is just, this is just the looped part of the cap band. So all you do is you just pull that bit out and it'll sit nicely for you. Another way of doing that is to start at the cap band end and actually just firmly run your thumb up the bracelet, and that'll hook out those little bits that will pop up and sit out as the top of your little triangle, or from the side they've got the little ridges that sit up like that. Okay, so see that one there is sitting inside a little bit, the white ones are popping out. So all we do, if it's being stubborn, just pick it out like that. And that's sitting beautifully. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this bracelet. I had such fun inventing this one, and I'll be back very soon with my twin teeny tiny bracelet in another tutorial. Happy looming!